Hey y'all, my name is JaTeryn Moore, and on my YouTube channel, I am documenting my journey as a real estate wholesaler. In this video, I will be talking about the seller appointments as a real estate wholesaler. We have to have an understanding here. We have to have a conversation about these appointments, especially if you are brand new to the real estate industry. Even myself, sometimes I have to catch myself because I will get excited. I will hear someone say they're ready to sell their property, and then I'm ready to jot out on the appointment, even though I don't have all of the information required to actually make the appointment happen or make the appointment successful, i.e., get a contract signed. Okay, I need this to be a conversation because I want to know, have you guys ever experienced this? I mean, seriously, as a wholesaler, you know, you're calling your list, you get people that respond, and then you're like, oh my goodness, I have someone who's interested. They told me they want to sell, but you don't even know what the property looks like. You don't even know if it needs any updates. You don't even know what price they want. They could want above market value. They could want more than what the property is actually worth. They probably don't even want to sell until next year. You know, I learned from my coach, and he can teach you as well, Brent Daniels, that you have to qualify leads in order to go out on your appointments. And this is so important, especially again, as a new wholesaler. Why? Because when you get a call, you may run out to the appointment and be disappointed because you don't get a contract signed. Well, that's because you didn't qualify them good enough, and that's okay. We just have to stop it right here in this video. We got to stop wasting our time and wasting these sellers' time knowing, or you probably don't even have to stop wasting the seller's time going out to these appointments and we did not qualify them the right way. The biggest thing you can ask for is the condition, because right there you can sell it. You can sell the entire deal right there. If it's really nice, if the house is all fixed up, then there's no point. If you are a wholesaler that's only looking for distressed properties, you know, not really focusing on creative financing deals, then you're going to pass up those properties that are in great condition, and you're going to let a real estate agent take those over, because in all actuality and in all fairness, you would want that property owner to put that property on the market, right? But if you have a property owner that's telling you that the condition is horrible, okay, that's probably a property you want to go out and see and then get their expectation in advance in regards to how much they want for that property. And you can sell it right there. Hey, Mr. Seller, I hear you say you want, say for example, the ARV of a property is $100,000, right? And the seller knows it needs so much work and they still want $80,000 for the property. Well, that could be your opportunity before you go out on an appointment, just to educate them a little bit. Let them know that, make it make sense. You know, let them know that that you're, first of all, trying to make a profit on this, and second of all, if the property needs work, you know, that price point that they're asking for, that $80,000, is a little bit too close to market value, especially with the amount of work that needs to be done. This is just an example, okay? Because this will actually happen. I actually just had a property where I canceled the appointment. I'm going to tell you guys a quick story. I had been following up with this property owner. I initially called him in May of 2022, right? Just before I took like my 7 to 8 month break, okay? I took a break, and if you guys haven't checked out that video, go ahead and watch that video right here. But right before I went off on my hiatus with wholesaling, I called this property owner and he was not ready to sell. He actually told me that he was planning to move out of state within the next few months, and to, you know, just continue following up with him because he wasn't ready at that very moment. Once I started cold calling again in December, I actually reached out to the property owner again. I reached out to him again, and at that time he still told me he wasn't ready. He told me he was actually having some type of financial issues because he was dealing with his wife's sickness, which required them to use a lot of their savings in order to care for her. So he really wasn't in the position to move, and that was in December of 2022. When I talked to him last in December of 2022, when he told me, you know, they weren't in the position to move, he said to just follow up with him in June of 2023. Okay, so I put him in my follow-up call list to call him back in the summer. Okay, now here's what happened. He sent me a text message, must have been, when he sent me that text. I'll include it in this, I'll include it here. But he texted me and he told me that he was interested in me coming out to the property, and instantly I'm like, oh shoot, you know, because I just got back into the business, you know. I'm like, yeah, appointment after appointment after appointment. But then I'm like, nah, JaTeryn, settle down, girl. I had to come to reality, and I kept second guessing, right? I kept saying, no, I don't need to call him and get his price. Because y'all, I need to let you guys know, I need to be straight up with you. I calculated his ARV last summer when I reached out to him in May, and it was like $146,000 all fixed up. If it was all fixed up and beautiful, that's how much it would sell for on the market, right? This property owner wanted $200,000. I know you is lying. Yes, he did. So in January, like I said, when he just sent me that message, the text message saying that he was interested again, I'm like, absolutely. I'm coming out there, you know, I will be there. I'm coming to your rescue. And then after I got off the phone call, I'm like, I'm about to make this happen. You know, yeah, I'm looking dead at the fact that he wants $200K, even though the ARV is $146,000. And then I'm like, JaTeryn, girl, you know this ain't no deal. Call that man and tell him you ain't coming on that appointment. I end up calling him back. I'm telling you, this will happen. This video, again, is about saving your time. Every property owner you talk to is not an appointment, okay? So I ended up calling him back. Literally, the appointment was scheduled for January the 29th, 2023. I called him that day. I called him right before the appointment. The appointment was set to start at 4 p.m. I called him at around 3, and I said, just like this, I said, hey, so I was sitting here talking with my partners. I wasn't talking with no partners. You know how wholesalers like to use that word partners, but carry along with me. Keep following, okay? So I said, hey, I'm just sitting here talking with my partners, and you know, I'm looking at the price, and it looks like you want more of retail value for your property. Is that right? And his response was, well, you know, the market has changed. And I was like, oh, okay, so how much do you want for your property? And he said, well, I'll take $170,000. And in my head, I'm like, wait a minute. The ARV of this property still isn't even close. So I ended up actually, before I made this call, I forgot to mention, I did run the ARV, and it only came up to $145,000. So, you know, back in the summer, it was $146,000 ARV, but in January 2023, it's $145,000. Not a big difference. But my thing is, he went from $200,000 to $170,000. That's still out of control. And I told him, I said, okay, back to the conversation. So he lets me know that he wants $170,000. I said, well, you know, that sounds honestly like retail value. That sounds like you want to put your property on the market. I said, so why don't you just sell with the realtor? And he said, well, you know, because I was just trying to get a cash offer. And I said, well, honestly, cash offers, just to be up front with you, are going to come in very low. I said, my cash offer isn't even close to what you're asking. I told him that. You guys have to be upfront and honest with property owners so that they will respect you more. Keep following. I said, my cash offer wouldn't even come close. What I have to offer you is not even near $170,000. And he was like, well, where are you guys at? Again, I emphasized not even close. And then I told him, and for me to make this property work on your behalf, I would need to have this at $70,000. That's $100,000 difference. I told him, even before he asked, I said, now I do not want to offend you with my number. But since he asked, I told him. I said 70,000, and his follow-up was him and his wife wouldn't even be able to do that because he said they owe $80,000 for their mortgage. So they were trying to make a good chunk of profit so that they could put down for another property. And she actually followed up. His wife in the background was like, no, it's not 80,000, we owe 90,000. Could have just been her just wanting extra money, but it couldn't happen with me. I wasn't a buyer. I was not their buyer. I told him that. I said, well, you know what? It doesn't look like for this property, I would not be your buyer. And that's okay. That's okay. I said, well, do you guys have a realtor? Because listen, wholesalers, we're in the business of providing a service. It's not all about the assignment fees. It's not all about the closings, okay? And I learned that from my great coach, Mr. Brent Daniels, Mr. TTP, okay? We are providing a service. So if you are not able to assist, find another solution. If you are not able to wholesale a property, see what else you can do for them. So I offered to provide them with a realtor that I work with closely in my market. And they let me know that they already had a realtor, the one that sold them the property, and that they wanted to go with that realtor again. So I said, no problem. But I did let them know, of course, if anything were to change in the future, to let me know. And if they still needed any realtor recommendations, to reach out as well. That's how you build long-term relationships and connections. I was upfront, I was honest, I was straightforward, and I let him know, listen, this is not the property for me. So I did that before I went out on the appointment, even though I was so excited to go ahead and go out on the appointment, because I'm really just building up my momentum back in my wholesaling business. And I just wanted to get back out and get the experience per se, but I told myself to stop that mess. Quit saying I need to get the experience. Get the experience when it's the right property owner to go, when it's the right property to go out to see. You not just going out on anything, JaTeryn, and that's what I have to tell myself, because y'all get excited, and I'll waste my time as well, and I'll waste other folks' time. I will waste a property owner's time. Okay, and I feel bad for that just because I'm so excited, and I'll go out there knowing good on doggone well that's not gonna be a deal. Okay, so I'm here to tell you again in this video, stop doing this. Every appointment will not be a wholesale deal. You know if you have qualified that property owner. You know if they are in a major distress situation and they need to sell immediately. You will know that because they will be saying, like, I need to sell next week and my property is in horrible condition and I had tenants that I just kicked out and the price that I want is well below market value. That's the type of lead that you are wanting to hear. With everything I just said, if it sounds like that, those are the type of appointments you want to go out. I hope you guys enjoyed my little rant, my little story. If you did not hear anything else in this video, I am loving this jacket today. That's not what I was going to say. But if you guys did not hear anything else I said in this video, one takeaway: don't go out on every single appointment. It's not worth it. Boom. There you go. If you have enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and then subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you never miss anytime anytime you what, JaTeryn? So that you never miss anytime I upload any new content, okay? And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.